What if I told you that a single island just 100 miles off China's coast could be the trigger for the next Great Depression? That if war breaks out over Taiwan, global markets could plunge by 40%, $10 trillion could evaporate overnight, and the financial world as we know it could collapse. This isn't a theory. This is a very real, very urgent possibility. Today, we peel back the curtain on a ticking time bomb, the Taiwan Strait. And what you're about to hear may just be the most important story the media isn't telling you. The island that powers the world. Taiwan isn't just a strategic military flashpoint. It's the beating heart of the global tech economy. This small island produces 92% of the world's advanced semiconductors. Not just any chips, the microbrains that run your smartphones, cars, AI systems, military drones, satellites, everything. And at the center of this empire is TSMC, a company so essential, it's been called the most important company in the world. To put this into perspective, without Taiwan's chips, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Boeing, even your microwave oven, would be dead in the water. In dollar terms, we're talking about $922 billion in annual trade, much of it high-value tech exports. If a war cuts off Taiwan, it's not just Taiwan that goes dark, the entire global economy gets hit with a blackout. A full-scale conflict over Taiwan would be an economic Chernobyl. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, the global economy could lose $10 trillion in just the first few months of war. That's more than the GDP of Japan and Germany combined. Break it down further. Taiwan's economy shrinks by 40% or more. China loses 17% of its GDP. The United States, it could see a 5 to 7% contraction, even without boots on the ground. And East Asia, South Korea, Japan, these tech-heavy nations could face double-digit recessions overnight. We're talking about the economic equivalent of multiple COVID-level shocks all at once. Markets in freefall, the financial fallout. Let's be brutally honest, Wall Street is not ready for this. Analysts at BCA Research predict the S&P 500 would crash 30 to 40% in a full-blown conflict. That's worse than 2008, worse than the dot-com bust. We're talking about wealth destruction on a generational scale. Massive asset sell-offs. Flight to cash, gold, and U.S. treasuries. Trading halts, circuit breakers, bankruptcies, chaos. And here's the kicker, many of the top 500 global ETFs are heavily exposed to Taiwan, China, or Asia Pacific. We're not talking about a niche issue. This crisis would slam portfolios everywhere, a shipping nightmare. Now let's talk trade. Every year, $5.3 trillion in global trade flows through the South China Sea. A third of that, nearly $2 trillion, passes directly through the Taiwan Strait. If war breaks out, those routes close. Cargo ships freeze. Insurance rates skyrocket. Ports go silent. Think back to the Ever Given ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. Now multiply that disruption by 1,000. That's what a Taiwan war looks like for global logistics. From smartphones to soybeans, from semiconductors to steel, everything grinds to a halt. China's gamble and its cost. Now let's flip the map. China, for all its bravado, would be staring down the barrel of economic catastrophe. Sanctions. Capital flight. Tech bans. Frozen foreign reserves. Corporate exodus. Experts project that China could lose up to $3 to $4 trillion in direct output, with foreign investment vanishing almost overnight. And here's the long-term twist. A drawn-out war would turn China into a financial pariah, cut off from innovation, trust, and capital. They may win militarily, but economically, they'd be bleeding for decades. Supply chain apocalypse. The moment Taiwan falls, so does the global supply chain. The auto industry would be decimated. Consumer tech would grind to a halt. Military hardware, delayed, limited, vulnerable. It takes 3 to 5 years and billions of dollars to build a chip fab. Even if companies like Intel and Samsung go into overdrive, they can't replace Taiwan fast enough. No chips means no innovation. No chips means no AI. No chips means the world hits pause. Global recession. We're not talking about a normal recession here. This would be a global economic shockwave potentially worse than 2008 and COVID combined. Banking systems would be tested. Food prices would skyrocket. Gas and oil markets would spiral. Central banks, including the Fed and the ECB, would face impossible choices. Cut rates and risk hyperinflation? Raise rates and collapse credit markets. Meanwhile, emerging markets would fall like dominoes. Argentina, Turkey, South Africa each facing currency collapse and social unrest. The hidden cost, people, jobs, and nations. Behind all the charts and forecasts are real human stories. If war breaks out, tens of millions would lose their jobs globally. Poverty levels could spike in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Healthcare systems would strain, education stalls, migration explodes. This isn't just economics, it's a humanitarian crisis waiting to unfold. And while Western nations may weather the storm longer, no one escapes unscathed. Is there any way out? So, is war inevitable? Not quite. Experts argue that the world still has time to de-escalate, diversify supply chains, and build economic resilience. The US, Japan, and Europe are already investing hundreds of billions into domestic chip fabs. New trade alliances like Chip 4 are emerging. Military deterrence is being ramped up in the Pacific. But here's the hard truth: we're not moving fast enough. Right now, 80% of the world's advanced chip capacity still lies on that vulnerable island. We're building lifeboats. But the iceberg is coming fast. The clock is ticking. The former head of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, Admiral Davidson, once said, China could invade Taiwan by 2027, but they may strike earlier. That was before the Ukraine war. Before rising inflation. Before the return of Cold War politics. Today, the risk is higher than ever. And the world? It's sleepwalking into a financial catastrophe. If Taiwan falls, we're not just looking at another war. We're looking at a full reset of the global economy. And unless governments, corporations, and citizens wake up now, we may not be able to stop what's coming. Make it count. If this shook you, if you believe this story needs to be heard, then help amplify it. Like this video, share it, comment your thoughts below. And most importantly, subscribe for more real, unfiltered breakdowns of the global finance system. Because when the next crisis hits, the last thing you want is to be uninformed. This is WorldFlow Finance. Stay smart, stay awake.